Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going.
Today we have predictions for 4 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Atlanta Hawks and Charlotte Hornets. Alright, we've got the Atlanta Hawks rolling into Charlotte for a face-off with the Hornets, and this matchup has all the makings of a gritty Eastern Conference showdown. Honestly, figuring out this Hawks team is like solving a basketball riddle. They've been all over the place. One night, they're pulling off a shocker by beating Cleveland by 11 as 9-point underdogs, and the next, they're losing to the Bulls by double digits. It's like flipping a coin every time they hit the court. The big storyline here is Trae Young's Achilles. If he's out, and let's be real, back-to-backs with an injury like that aren't exactly a recipe for playing, the Hawks will be scrambling to fill that massive void. Jalen Johnson, though, has been a bright spot. This guy has been balling, putting up over 20 points and grabbing double-digit boards. If Young sits, Johnson's going to have to step up and carry the load, and from what we've seen, he's got the chops to do it. Don't sleep on DeAndre Hunter either. When he's been on the floor, he's been solid, dropping 17 a game. But the Hawks need more than individual brilliance. They need consistency as a squad. Now, the Hawks can rebound, that's a fact. They're top 10 in cleaning up the glass, and their ball movement is decent when they're not coughing it up. But turnovers have been their kryptonite, and their shooting, let's just say they're not exactly scaring anyone from downtown. Defensively, they've got some rim protection, ranking 9th in blocks, but giving up over 120 points a game? That's not going to cut it, especially against a scrappy Hornets team. Speaking of Charlotte, they've been a tough crew to figure out too, but they've got fight in them. Injuries? Yeah, they've had their fair share, and losing LaMelo Ball with that calf issue is a gut punch. If he's out again, their offense takes a big hit. But even with all that, they've managed to cover the spread in 7 of their last 10 games. That's no fluke. They've got heart, and they've been protecting their home court pretty well, sitting at 5-3 in Charlotte. Brandon Miller is the guy to watch for the Hornets. The young gun is averaging close to 20 a game, but he's got to find his rhythm with the shot. 41% from the field isn't going to scare anyone. Still, with Miles Bridges and Trey Man out, Miller doesn't have much choice but to step up. He's got the tools, but this is a big moment for him. The Hornets also have some strength on the boards. They're 6th in the league in rebounding, and that could be their ticket to controlling the tempo. Both teams are coming off back-to-backs, so you've got to think fatigue might play a role here. The Hawks are traveling to Charlotte after playing at home, but honestly, neither team is in an ideal spot. Here's the kicker, though. Charlotte has been covering spreads like it's their job, especially in situations like this. They've been a lot more reliable than Atlanta when it comes to beating the odds, and at home, they've looked like a different team. So, if you're asking me, I'm rolling with the Hornets on this one. Atlanta's inconsistency is just too much to overlook, and without Trae, they're not the same squad. Charlotte, on the other hand, has been finding ways to compete, even with a depleted roster. I like them to cover the +4 spread here, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled off the outright win. Let's see if the young guns in Charlotte can get it done on their home floor. The second prediction for today is for a game between the Philadelphia 76ers and Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons take on the Philadelphia 76ers, and honestly, this game feels like a clear-cut situation if you've been watching how these two squads are trending. Detroit has been grinding through their season with a 9-12 record, and while they've had their ups and downs, there's a sense that they're figuring things out. On the flip side, Philadelphia, sitting at a painful 3-14, seems lost in the shuffle, and their on-court struggles reflect that in every way. Let's talk about the Pistons first. They're coming off a statement win against the Indiana Pacers, where they flat-out dominated. Scoring 130 points while shooting nearly 58% from the field, that's cooking. And it wasn't just about making shots. They controlled the boards, out-rebounding Indiana by 12, and played with energy and focus on both ends of the floor. Malik Beasley was a spark plug off the bench, dropping 25 points with laser-like efficiency. Cade Cunningham, though, remains the engine of this team. He's putting up 23.5 points per game and dishing out 8.9 assists, doing it all while keeping this team competitive night in and night out. Throw in Jalen Duren, who's been cleaning the glass with 9.9 boards a game, and you've got a team that's starting to believe in itself. Detroit's defense deserves some flowers too. They're holding opponents to just 45.7% shooting, which ranks them among the league's better defensive squads. That grit has been a huge part of their success, especially when their offense isn't clicking. But make no mistake, they've got offensive firepower too. Shooting 46.3% from the floor and a respectable 35.5% from deep, they're not world beaters, but they're efficient enough to get the job done. And when they're favored, they've shown they can cover, especially against Atlantic Division opponents. They've been handling business in spots like this all season. Now let's get real about the 76ers. This team is in shambles. They've dropped games to the Clippers and Rockets, and honestly, they're lucky to even have 3 wins on a season. Tyrese Maxey is out there giving everything he's got, averaging 25.7 points, but it feels like he's running a one-man show. Joel Embiid is out again, which is becoming an all too familiar story, and while Paul George might suit up, his impact has been non-existent so far. The rest of the roster? Let's just say it's not striking fear into anyone. Philly's offense has been ice cold, shooting just 42.9% from the field and a cringeworthy 31.8% from 3. They're also giving up 113.1 points per game, so it's not like their defense is bailing them out either. It's a mess, plain and simple. The Pistons already beat the 76ers by 10 last month, and I see no reason why this game should play out any differently. Detroit has momentum, confidence, and a much more cohesive identity. Meanwhile, Philly is a team trying to find its footing but falling flat. Unless Maxey goes full superhero mode, and even then, it might not be enough, the Pistons have all the tools to take care of business again. Detroit's home court should only boost their chances, and with the Sixers reeling, it feels like the Pistons can win this one outright and cover the slim spread. I like what Detroit has been doing this season. They've cleaned up some of the issues that plagued them last year, added depth, and learned how to close games. Sure, they're not perfect, but they're showing real growth. Philadelphia, on the other hand, looks like a team that needs to hit reset. At this point, it's hard to trust them to deliver, especially on the road against a team that's figuring out how to win. Give me the Pistons here, they've earned the nod.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The third prediction for today is for a game between the Golden State Warriors and Phoenix Suns. Saturday night's clash between the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns at the Footprint Center has all the makings of a gritty, hard-fought matchup. Both teams are looking to shake off recent losses and get their mojo back, and the storylines heading into this one are juicy. The Warriors are coming in on a tough 3-game skid, capped by a frustrating 105-101 home loss to the Thunder. It's been a mix of highs and lows for Golden State. They're 8th in the league in scoring and deadly from beyond the arc, but their free throw shooting, let's just say it's been a disaster. They rank dead last at the line, and that inconsistency has been biting them in close games. On the bright side, they're dominating the boards, ranking second in rebounding, and their ball movement remains elite, with the second best assist numbers in the league. The big question? Stephen Curry. The Warriors superstar sat out Wednesday's game with knee soreness, and his status is still up in the air. If he's on the floor, this Warriors team is a whole different beast, especially against a Phoenix squad that's been struggling to defend the three-point line. Without him, the pressure is on Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and Buddy Hield to step up. Wiggins dropped 16 points in the Thunder game, but they'll need a lot more from him. Kuminga has been solid, averaging 13.6 points per game, and his energy could be key. Hield's shooting has been up and down, but his confidence is crucial for Golden State's offense to click. On the other side, the Suns are licking their wounds after a tough 127-116 loss to the Nets. Kevin Durant was his usual unstoppable self, pouring in 30 points and grabbing 8 boards, while Devin Booker added 31 in a losing effort. Still, turnovers and defensive lapses plagued them, allowing Brooklyn to torch them from deep. That's been a recurring theme for Phoenix. They're giving up 37.3% shooting from beyond the arc, ranking 25th in the league. That's not a good look against a Warriors squad that lives and dies by the three. Durant and Booker are going to bring in, no doubt about that. KD is having another MVP-caliber season, and Booker's a walking bucket. The question is, who's going to help them out? Bradley Beal and Jusuf Nurkic are both questionable, which could leave the Suns shorthanded. Without them, Phoenix will need a big night from its supporting cast to have a shot at slowing down Golden State. Now, let's talk trends. The Suns have historically had the edge in this rivalry, leading the all-time series and going 3-1 against the Warriors last season. But this year, their struggles at home are glaring. They've been brutal against the spread on their home floor, covering just twice in 10 tries. Meanwhile, the Warriors have been road warriors, pun intended, covering 63.5% of their road games since the last year. Even this season, they're 6-4 against the spread on the road. That kind of consistency matters. This one feels like it's going to be a chess match. If Curry suits up, I like the Warriors to take advantage of Phoenix's defensive struggles and keep their road covering magic alive. Without him, it's a toss-up, but Golden State's depth and hustle on the boards give them a fighting chance. On the other hand, if the Suns can clean up their turnovers and get their defense in order, Durant and Booker have the firepower to carry them to a win. Bottom line, this one's going to be a dogfight. I'm leaning toward the Warriors to cover the 3.5-point spread, especially if Curry's back in action. Even without him, this feels like a game they can grind out if they execute in crunch time. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Dallas Mavericks and Utah Jazz. The Dallas Mavericks are rolling into Utah with some serious momentum, and this matchup against the Jazz is set to be an interesting one. The Mavs have been on a tear lately, shaking off a slow start to the season and finding their groove, even without their superstar Luka Doncic. It's been impressive to watch them hold it down, especially with Kyrie Irving stepping up big time. Irving has been the anchor, dropping 24.5 points per game and making sure this team stays competitive night in and night out. But honestly, what's caught my eye is Najee Marshall's rise. This guy has been lights out, scoring 20 or more in 4 straight games and shooting over 50% in his last 6. That's the kind of production the Mavs needed with Luka sidelined. Marshall and Irving are giving this team a spark, and the supporting cast has followed suit. The Mavs are playing like a squad with something to prove, winning 6 of their last 7, and they've been covering spreads like clockwork. Even as underdogs in some tough spots, they've battled through, showing resilience against teams like the Knicks, Hawks, and even pushing Miami to overtime. Meanwhile, the Jazz are still searching for answers. It's been a rough start to the season for Utah, sitting at just 4 wins with a defense that looks like it's stuck in preseason mode. They've been letting opponents run up the scoreboard, giving up nearly 120 points per game. Lauri Markkanen has had flashes of brilliance, but he's not delivering like he did last year when you could count on him for 20 to 30 points on any given night. Without Jordan Clarkson and Kyle Filipkowski, the Jazz offense feels a little lost at times, and it's a lot to ask Markkanen to carry the load every night. Walker Kessler has been a bright spot, though. His work on the boards and efficient shooting have been a boost, but even with his presence, this team struggles to get stops. They've managed a couple of surprising wins, including one over these very Mavericks a few weeks back, but let's be real, it's hard to trust them to pull that off again. That last game was a nail-biter, with the Jazz sneaking out a 2-point win as 8-point dogs. This time, the Mavs are coming in with revenge on their minds, and I think they're better prepared to handle business. The Jazz have some size in the front court, and if they're going to make this competitive, it'll come down to how well they can dominate the paint and hit their shots from deep. But against a Mavs squad that's clicking and has found ways to win even without Luka, it feels like an uphill climb for Utah. Dallas knows what's at stake, and they're playing like a team with their sights set on bigger things. I think Kyrie will keep the offense humming, Marshall will continue his breakout stretch, and the Mavs will prove too much for the Jazz to handle. If you're looking for value, this is a great spot to back Dallas. They've shown they can win and cover without Luka, and I expect that trend to continue. Utah's defense just doesn't do enough to make me believe they can slow down this Mavericks team. I'm riding with Dallas to take the win and cover the 6-point spread, leaving no doubt about who's the better team right now.